Okay, here we are again, this time with Patriot games, starring Harrison Ford, James Earl Jones, Richard Harris, and Sean Bean. Rest in peace to two of those actors. If you aren't as familiar with Harry Potter, Richard Harris was the first Dumbledore, and he was also in Gladiator, which I recently covered a few episodes back. And then James Earl Jones and Harrison Ford were in Star Wars together. Harrison Ford was also in Indiana Jones. He did 3 Indiana Jones movies right before this movie. And then Sean Bean, he was in Lord of the Rings after this. He was in a lot after this. Sean Bean and Richard Harris act Irish characters in this movie. Or the villains, so to speak. Communist Irish. This movie came out in 1992. So Harrison Ford was barely in his 50s. James Earl Jones was in his 60s. This came out before the Lion King movie. And this was a Paramount Pictures movie. As you can see here on the case, it was adapted from a Tom Clancy novel with the title Patriot Games. The character that Harrison Ford plays in this movie is Jack Ryan, which is kind of a teacher, kind of a CIA calling guy. Tom Clancy actually did research before writing a lot of his books. He wrote Hunt for Red October, Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games, The Sum of All Fears. He wrote all of those books, and he did quite a bit of research before. Jack Ryan is an analytics guy. And he sometimes gets called in to do dirty work. This movie, he kind of gets in it because his family is a target. The way this movie was, the way the book was, I think, I've never even read the book, okay? I've just seen the movie. I've just seen this movie twice. So barely enough times to be able to talk about it. There is a car chase on the freeway, I think. And, yep. Harrison Ford does a good job playing Jack Ryan in this movie. He also did Jack Ryan in Clear and Present Danger right after this. Taking over, I think he took over for Alec Baldwin, who had portrayed him in The Hunt for Red October right before this movie. He may have originally been the one who was asked. They just probably asked Alec because of his involvement with, I think, Indiana Jones. I haven't done much research about this movie to be able to actually know. I just know it came out in 92. And it was a Tom Clancy movie. And it was done by Paramount Pictures. Okay, now for the rating. Okay, this movie is R-rated, but it's very, very tame R rating. Not very much swearing, just violence, and then it's an hour and 56 minutes. And there's Jack Ryan. There is the villain. There's James Earl Jones. And there's Jack's wife and daughter. The music in this movie is by James Horner, which up to this point had recently done the score for Star Trek, Wrath of Khan, Star Trek, The Search for Spock, and Aliens, and American Tail and its sequel. And yes, the music is great in this film. After this movie, James Horner went on to write the score for Braveheart, Titanic, and Avatar, and Troy. So he wrote for 4 movies after this. I think, no, Sneakers was right after this for James Horner. So it was Sneakers, Braveheart, Titanic, Troy, Avatar. Because Avatar came out in 2009. And yes, James Horner was taken from us too soon. But the amount of film scores he had written were like good. Like, if you haven't heard the music to Braveheart, like, it's good music. If you haven't heard the music to Titanic, it's good music. The Star Trek movies, good music too. Avatar, good music. Sneakers, different type of movie, different kind of style. Music. And then there's Troy, which is a lot of flourishing horn parts, glorious, audacious, awesome. This is one of Harrison Ford's finest movies from an action standpoint. I mean, yes, his work with Spielberg and Lucas was good. I mean, before this, he had done American Graffiti, the original trilogy, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, and Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade. This, and then Clear and Present Danger, were like his two films in the 90s. And then he kind of went off for a little bit until 2008 when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was released. And then more recently, The Dial of Destiny was released. That's only 2 years old. I saw that one in theaters. It was alright. All of Harrison Ford's characters seem to be on the rougher side. There's hardly a soft, fatherly character. But that's what makes his movies so good. His character being on that rough side adds a flair. James Earl Jones, obviously, his character in this movie is kind of like the guy who would ask Jack Ryan to do work. Yeah. And then as far as Sean Bean and Richard Harris go, there was like Richard Harris is the guy who covers up for Sean Bean's guy in this movie. And yes, this is a fun movie to watch. think you could watch it. I'm pretty sure it's on Paramount Plus because it's a Paramount Pictures film. Yep. Anyways, on to the next movie now.